up, everybody? It's John with John Sports Cards and Collectibles, and today comic books coming at you with a brand new video. How is everyone doing out there today in the YouTube universe? I've got some LCS finds. Nice books here. One key, I believe. One key, and then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to show off today. A couple Silver Age, lots of Bronze Age, but really good stuff here that I picked up. One of my LCSs. Okay, the first one up we're looking at here is the Teen Titans. Not the new Teen Titans, the Teen Titans. This is issue 52. This was the second to last issue. Issue 53 is the final issue of the Teen Titans. And then they would launch, DC would launch the new Teen Titans a few years later. This issue, issue 52, has got one story, When Titans Clash. You've got, in this issue, the Teen Titans are Aqualad, Bumblebee, Guardian, Harlequin, Kid Flash, Robin, Speedy, and Wonder Girl. And there's also Titans West, Batgirl, Beast Boy, Dove, Gnark, don't know if I'm saying that right, Golden Eagle, Hawk, and Lilith. And then one antagonist in this story is Captain Calamity. Got a cover artist of Rich Buckler. You've got a publication date of December 10th, 1977. Nothing really special about this, but it is an awesome cover. And values in this book, ungraded, $6 to $8. 9.8 is $240. This is a very nice copy, white pages. I think the back's pretty good on this one. Minimal wear, probably a higher grade, not a 9.8. None of these books are ever 9.8s that I pick up, but, you know, higher grade, maybe an 8 point whatever, possibly. This one will just stay in the collection. I'm a big Teen Titans fan, new Teen Titans fan as well. So there you go. There's the first book. Let's get into the next two. All right, here are the next two that I picked up. Got one key in front of us and one cool, issue number 2. First of all, the key is Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, issue number 2. That is the second issue of this series. I have issue 1. Did not have 2, and I've got a few other scattered ones after this one. Pretty cool, though, to find this for $3. And you got Kraven the Hunter on the cover of this issue, as well as Tarantula. You can see him right there. It's Kraven the Hunter. The Omen movie, they're referencing there, a movie theater. That's really cool on the marquee. Very nice stuff. You got release date October 26, 1976, cover date January 1977. Al Milgrom did the cover of this issue. You got one story in here, Kraven the Hunter, and pretty cool stuff. Just looking to see if there's any notes here that I can talk about. There's lots of notes, maybe not. Continuity notes. Story takes place after Spider-Man's battle with Kingpin in Amazing Spider-Man 164. Although Spider-Man believes that Kingpin perished in that battle, he resurfaces alive in Amazing Spider-Man 195. And this goes into some other notes, just trying to see if there's anything interesting to talk about here with this issue. Not really. Lots of stuff, but nothing that jumps out at me. So you've got, like I said, cover artist Al Milgrom on this one. And then values of this book, $10 on average for this issue. And a 9.8 is only worth $140, which seems kind of odd, but kind of low. But what are you going to do? All right, next to it, you got Marvel Presents. This was a short-lived series by Marvel. It ran from October 1975 to August 1977, a total of 12 issues. And you got this issue, issue 2, with Bloodstone. Marvel Presents Bloodstone. And just to tell you real quick, Marvel Presents began publication with an October 1975 cover date. The first 2 issues feature Ulysses Bloodstone, which you can see here in the cover, a character created by Len Wein, Marv Wolfman, and John Warner from the Where Monsters Dwell series. Mike Vosberg was the artist assigned to the first installment. And then Pat Boyette, another name we know, was to draw the rest of the series. Where Monsters Dwell was canceled and Bloodstone was moved to Marvel Presents. The first 2 chapters were finished and were printed in issue number 1. Due to the publishing delays, Boyette was unavailable for the second issue, which was drawn by Sonny Trinidad instead. And this series also launched what was given the giving the Guardians of the Galaxy like the first like regular series push out of this. So Marvel presents issue number 2, Bloodstone. Not a key, but just a cool one to find that I did not have. The cover is awesome. The colors are wonderful on this. He's got this He-Man vibe going on. Definitely with the blonde hair and the kind of looks a little like He-Man, doesn't he? All right, you've got a release date of this one, September 23rd, 1975, cover date December 1975. Rich Buckler did the cover of this issue, and there's not much else I can say. The story here is Hellfire Hex, and the next issue of this volume begins the Guardian of the Galaxy series, just like I mentioned. So, pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. Values in this book: $5 to $7, ungraded, and a 9.8 is worth $134. Pretty cool issues to find, without a doubt. And I'm glad now that they're in the collection, and let's get into the next two. All right, here we go. Next two books, pretty cool ones, definitely. To the left, we see Sherlock Holmes, issue number 1. I almost passed this one up, and I was doing some research. I was at the LCS, and I was shocked to see the value of this book, first of all. It's not a key, but it's still a pretty cool one. And so I grabbed it, and let's talk about this one real quick here first. Sherlock Holmes, the release date of this book is October 1975. Let me see if I can see a specific. September 10th, 1975 is actually a publication date, and October 1975 is the cover month of this issue. You've got cover artist Walt Simonson. And what can I tell you about this? Two stories in here, I'm sorry. The Final Problem, Chapter 1, The Final Problem. Chapter 2, The Adventures of the Empty House, which it actually lists right there on the cover. Pretty cool stuff, without a doubt. I never knew that they came out with this. I was 6 years old. This is just one of those under-the-radar releases. And just pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff, to say the least. What else can I tell you about this book? There's other people who worked on this book. We're not going to dive into that. That'll be too much to deal with here. Values of this book, ungraded, roughly $12, which is, again, these are $3 books. These are cheap books that I try to find in good condition, and to find one for $3, it's worth $12. Yeah, you're going to snatch it up, especially if it's a first issue, regardless if it's key or not. 9.8 in this book is worth $345. This isn't a 9.8, but it's probably a higher grade book, and a nice one to add to the collection. Okay, next to it, you've got The Mighty Thor. Thor, issue 250. Not a key, but still, like, issue 200, 250, things like that, 100, any kind of issue with a big issue number like that with a big title, I'm going to grab if I see it. There were a bunch of Thor books from the 70s rhyme in these long boxes. I've noticed certain characters, I'm seeing those in this one location. Daredevil, Thor, Conan the Barbarian. So someone must have had a collection, is my guess, and these were maybe purchased a while ago and placed in this one LCS that I go to near me. So, not a key, but still a cool one to own. You've got Jack Kirby is the cover artist of this issue. And you've got a release date of May 11th, 1976, cover date August 1976. I mean, you can tell it's a Kirby cover. Take one look at that monster thing there, whatever Thor's fighting, look at Thor. You look at the other characters around, you know right off the bat that's a Kirby cover. And like I always say, I'm never going to pass over Kirby covers, Kirby issues, if I find them and they're in good shape. There's a lot of them, but I usually try to pick them up when I can. Len Wein also worked on this one as the writer, and there's other big names that worked on this issue as well. There's one story in here, If Asgard Should Perish, and there's not much else to say about this one here. No notes or anything like that of this issue. So it's not a key, even though it's issue 250. And then you've got values of this book, $10 on average, ungraded. And then 9.8 is worth $260. So, again, not a 9.8. Like I said, none of these are, but still a nice high-grade copy. They had a couple of these there, and this was the better of the two that I picked up. So just really, really cool stuff. Kirby's artwork is just unreal. It's unbelievable. He's probably one of my favorites. So definitely a nice one to find. Okay, let's get into the next two. Okay, next two. We got some cool ones here. We're going to start out on the left with the Tomb of Dracula, Lord of Vampires. This is the first one of these issues that I picked up. And they had a few there. And maybe I'll go back and get a couple others. Yeah, I just found this cover intriguing and just a pretty cool one to find. You've got first appearance of the Faceless Man, which they call the Faceless Fiend, on the cover here. You got Dracula is obviously the main antagonist here. Blade, Hannibal King are featured characters. I wonder if that's Blade from the Blade movies. I should have looked into that more. I didn't know. But anyway, release date April 6, 1976. Cover date July 1976. Gene Colan did the cover art of this book. Pretty cool stuff, without a doubt. Let's see what else I can tell you. Not much else. See if there's any notes here that I can touch upon. And no notes. Just a big synopsis on the story. Let us be wed in unholy matrimony. That's the title. It definitely is. Okay, values in this book. $10 on average ungraded. A 9.8 is worth $325. Not too bad of a payday if you get a 9.8 in this book. This one is pretty nice. 9.98, but boy, I'll tell you what, it's pretty nice. Nice condition, without a doubt. Okay, next to we got Daredevil, my favorite. If you watch this channel, watch his comic book videos, you know this is like basically one of my favorite characters. Got a few, but this is Daredevil's. Was one I liked as a youth and still do today. Okay, so Daredevil issue 123, not a key, still a cool one. Cover artist Sal Buscema, and release date April 1st, 1975. Cover date July 1975. You got some cool characters showing up in this one. You got Black Widow showing up as a supporting character. And then the antagonist, you got Hydra. The story title is Holocaust in the Halls of Hydra. So you got Hydra showing up here. Dreadnought, he's destroyed. Jackhammer makes his first full appearance. Bunch of other antagonists. And then other characters showing up here. S.H.I.E.L.D., Dum Dum Dugan, Val D. Fontaine, and Nick Fury. Yes, S.H.I.E.L.D., those guys. Very cool stuff. This issue 123. You got cover artists, like I said, Sal Buscema. Len Wein was the editor on this one. Bunch of other big names worked on the art side of stuff with this issue. Ungraded, $8 on average, and a 9.8. And this book's worth $586. Again, a higher grade. There's like a little tiny spine tick right there. Minimal little tiny little things going on with this book, but still a higher grade Daredevil issue 123. Okay, let's get in the last two. Pretty cool stuff, these last two Silver Age books. I was shocked to kind of find them there. Here we go. Here are the last two books of the video for today. We got 2 issues of Bomba the Jungle Boy. Yes, Bomba the Jungle Boy. What the hell is Bomba the Jungle Boy? I was wondering what the hell Bomba the Jungle Boy was as well. Then as I did my research, I was like, all right, I'm picking these things up. These 2 issues, issue 2 and 4. 2 is on your left, 4 is on your right. These are fantastic. They're just awesome. You can see issue number 2, all new, TV's Teen Jungle Star. We're going to get into the Bomba Boy and what that actually means, that TV show. Really wasn't a TV, it was a TV show, it was kind of, we'll talk about that. Let's talk about that. Okay, so it wasn't like a weekly series. It says here, the character played by Johnny Sheffield, formerly Boy in the Tarzan films, starred in a popular series of 12 theatrical adventure films from 1949 to 1955, with footage later being edited into a syndicated TV series called Zimbamba, from 1962 to 1963. Effectively bringing Bomba to television as a series. So this started out as like books, and then there were movies. Bomba the Jungle Boy. I'm looking at this on here. It says Bomba the Jungle Boy is a series of American boys' adventure books. And then, let's see, you had books, and then they made movies. There's novels, there's a film production, there's all kinds of stuff here. I'll put a link. I'll put links down below in the description if you guys are interested. There are 12 Bomba feature movies. First one in 1948 called Bomba the Jungle Boy, and then the last one was movie number 12. They had 12 of these things. Lord of the Jungle in 1955. So there you go with the kind of brief history, quick history of Bomba the Jungle Boy. All right, let's talk about these issues here. Let's talk about issue number 4, which is on your right. And I don't really have pricing on these because these are kind of not listed in a lot of the price guides that I look at. But let's just give you what information I can give here. You got cover artist Jack Sparling did this issue here, issue 4. This is really cool. I mean, it's just the colors are still really good on this one. It's got a little bit of wear on the spine, some spine ticks, and I think the pages are like off-white, and the back was, was okay. That needs a clean and press. Both these do. But these will just probably stay in my collection because they're just so damn cool. We got a publication in March 10th, 1968 of this issue, and let's just see as far as pricing goes. There are different prices for this one, sold as high as $25, as low as $5. It's all over the map of this issue. And let me just see one other quick thing here. Just want to make sure I have my information correct. So March 1968 is the publication release date of issue number 4 here on your right. And you've got one story in here, The Deadly Sting of Anaconda, which I'm guessing is her. Not sure. I just kind of glanced at these, made sure the pages were all there, that the centerfold, the center pieces and the staples were all intact and good, and everything was fine on this one. You got Tiki the Parrot makes a cameo. I'm dying to open these back up and look at them, but I'm going to leave them sealed in their bags and boards, that I transferred them to when I got home. Like I said, Jack Sparling was the cover artist here. And then you've got, like I said, the values of this one. And then that's really it for issue number 4. Not a key or anything like that. Let me see how many of these were graded so I can give you some additional information. 22 copies have been graded. There's no 9.8s. There's a 3 9.6s. And those are worth $260 and a 9.6 and a fair market value. And then they go down as low as a 7. This would probably be lower than a 7, I would think. This is probably like a 5 if I was to ever get this kind of book graded. But it probably won't. Just keep it in the collection because it doesn't hold a lot of value. It's still cool and a piece of comic book history. Okay, let's talk about issue number 2 right here, which is from November 1967. Dick Dillon is the cover artist. This cover is awesome. You've got this giant here. Is there a name for this guy? It doesn't even say the antagonist or anything on this information I'm looking at. So I don't even know this guy's name. But he's throwing Bomba Boy into that pit of snakes, vipers, or whatever they might be. The story is called The Phantom City of Death. Like I said, Dick Dillon did the cover art on this one. And I'm just trying to see if there's anybody of note here. Harry Baltanoff was one of the writers, and that's kind of it. Values of this book have recently sold as low as 5, as high as 32. A handful have sold. Bomba, The Jungle Boy, issue number 2. Some later Silver Age books, and this one's got a little bit of tear down here in the corner of the cover, missing a piece or whatever. But, that's got minor spine wear right there. And what else? There's probably something else wrong with this book. But I figured, for $3, I'm going to pick this up. And, a lot of the older books like this that I've come across are disappearing out of these boxes. So I'm not the only one that sees these kind of books and says, hey, you know what? I want this because this is cool. And this is probably going to be a higher priced book somewhere else. And, $3, yeah, boom. So there you go. 2 issues of Bomba the Jungle Boy, issue number 2 and number 4 to wrap this video up. This was lots and lots of fun today. Again, like I said, these videos are really fun for me to do. I love actually going on these hunts to look through these filthy boxes, and I come out with some cool things sometimes. And here are a bunch of them today that I just share with you. So that's all I've got for you guys today. If you're new here and you like what you see and hear here, please hit the subscribe button. Please comment down below. Please share this video with everybody out there in the comic book community. And remember to give this video a thumbs up, a like. Remember the eBay links down below in the description. That is all I have for you guys today. Until next time, folks, this is John with John Sports Odds, and today, comic books. And we'll see everybody very, very soon. Take care.